All right, let's talk about big goals. The kinds that make you feel excited and terrified at the same time. The ones that keep you on your toes, the ones that keep popping into your head like, I want to write a book, or I'm going to run a marathon, or I'll finally start that business. Sounds great, right? Until reality hits. You look at the anonymity, the bigness-ish, I think that is the correct word, of that goal. And then you think to yourself, where do I even begin? And then, like most people, you either procrastinate or overthink it, or for most, abandon the goal altogether. But here's the thing. Big goals don't fail because they are impossible. They fail because we try to tackle them all at once. So today we're going to look at how you can break those big goals down into actionable steps. Those ambitious goals, those gigantic goals, how you can break them into small actionable steps that actually work. As young professionals and as leaders, we are often taught to dream big, but no one tells us to actually execute or teaches us how to execute those dreams. And so we set these massive goals with no plan, like I write a book, I'll save £200,000 this year, or I'll finally get that promotion. And what happens? We freeze. You got it right. We get stuck in the analysis paralysis, overthinking every detail, or perhaps you rush in with no structure and then you burn out. If the task is too daunting, your brain won't know when to start. That's the truth. But the key is to shrink down your goals, to break them down smaller into tiny bits, manageable pieces that you can move with. Those manageable pieces then keeps you moving forward. So let's reframe how you approach your goals. Instead of seeing them as mountains to conquer, think of them as puzzles. Solve it one piece at a time. So there's this thing Brian Tracy calls the salami slice. It's breaking down a big task into smaller sizes, and then you tackle those smaller tasks one by one. For example, if your goal is to save £50,000, or let's use naira, 50 million naira, or let's bring it down, 5 million naira. Of course, 50 million naira is So if your goal is to save that amount of money or X amount of money next year, 2025, break it down into monthly or weekly savings targets. So if you want to write a book, start with 500 words a day. You write 500 words a day. That's a small, actionable, and manageable step. If you are hoping to get a promotion at work, focus on improving one key skill every quarter. So say January to March 2025, you choose a particular skill, you own that particular skill, you study, you take courses, just to get better in that area. And then you do 4 skills over the stretch of 12 months. Each quarter, improving on one skill. When you break your goals down into actionable steps, they become less intimidating. Yeah? You're no longer staring at a mountain. You are now taking a first step on a well-marked trail, because you've broken down your goals into tiny bits that you can carry per time and run with an action and get done. So think of it this way. Try to tackle a big goal all at once is like trying to eat an entire pizza in one bite. It's embarrassing. It's overwhelming. And let's be honest, they're going to choke. And that's what happens with our goals when we don't break them down into actionable steps, into manageable steps. We get stuck, we choke. But if you go at it one slice at a time, not only do you enjoy the process, but you actually finish what you started. And yes, I just compared your life goals to pizza because who doesn't love pizza? Now, let's make this practical. Here's how to bring down your big goals into actionable steps. Number one, define the goal. Be specific. What do you want to achieve? For example, I want to save £50,000 by December 31st, 2025. Break it into milestones. Divide the goal into smaller, time-bound chunks. For example, save £1,000 or £1,250 per quarter, or say £100 per week, or £500 per week, or £1,000 per week, depending on your targets at the end of the year. And then create actionable tasks. Identify the daily actions needed. Example, for saving £1,000 a week, your actions might include cutting back on unnecessary expenses, setting automatic transfers to a savings account, tracking your spending, which is one thing I preach a lot. Tracking your spending. Write down everything you spend. So you can do it manually by writing down in your journal, or you can use budgeting apps. Celebrate small wins also. Every milestone you achieve deserves to be celebrated. Did you reach your first savings goal? Treat yourself to a small reward. That keeps you motivated. And here's the secret. You have to focus on the progress, not perfection. Those consistent small steps will always beat occasional massive leaps. So, why progress matters more than perfection? It's because the small wins, they keep you going. They give you that momentum. They keep you in motion. So each step you take, each small step, each small win, each small completion of a task or a target keeps you motivated and reinforces your belief that that goal is achievable. So think of it this way. When you aim low enough to succeed, you can take that manageable step and complete over time to achieve the eventual goal. It's not about settling, of course. It's not about going small. It's about building confidence and discipline through small, manageable actions. Because here's the truth. The journey towards your goal is what shapes you. It's what the person you become, the person you grow into. So every small step builds your skills, your resilience, and your belief in what is possible. So here's my challenge to you as you round off this session. Pick one big goal for next year, 2025. Something you may have been thinking about, or perhaps you set in the previous years, even in this year. Pick that big goal. Put it down or write it down. Your ultimate goal. Put down 3 milestones to reach along the way. And then put in one action you can take at the beginning of the year, or even from now, that can get you started. Remember, big goals are achieved through small, consistent, actionable steps. The only way to climb the mountain is to take one step at a time, and so is the same with your goals. So take that away, and that's it for this session. Your big goals aren't too big. They are just waiting for a plan. You are just waiting for a structure. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how far you can go. See you next session.